let's say, for example, I book out 2 weeks ahead of time, and I've been booked out 2 weeks ahead of time for the past 6 months. Okay, now's the time to start raising my prices, right? Let your customers know, post on Instagram, send out a message that as of this date, the prices of haircuts are going to be, going up $5.
No, you can't just go from 40 to 100, you
Yeah,
know.
that's what I'm trying to say. So it's
Yeah.
something you gradually
You
got to
kind of
do.
have to go with, I don't want to say the economy, but, according to like where you live to.
Yeah. What's up, guys? It's Not Your Ordinary Barber with N.Y.O Barbershop.
So, yeah, we have another,
Another podcast.
another podcast.
All right, today we're going to be talking about you as a barber or barbers relocating. Okay, we're
Good
also going to
topic.
talk about when is a good time for a barber to raise his prices. I am going to start off with you start off. You start off with what a barber should do when he's relocating.
Okay, so relocating is like you're building from zero. Like you gotta do everything again. You gotta build clientele. You gotta go out there, talk to people. Like change the description on your platforms and saying that I moved, changed my address, and basically like promote yourself in a new way or a new area. So
It's kind of like starting all over again.
exactly.
So let's say you're a barber, right? You've been barbering 5 years.
Hmm.
I mean, I hope it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen to a lot of people, but let's say you've been barbering in the same area for 5 years. You got your clientele up. Something happens and you want to relocate, right? The first thing you should do is research. Research the area you're moving to. Research the barbershops in that area. Research the prices of haircuts. And then once you get down there, take a week or so and go in, introduce yourself, talk to these people, go to these shops that you're interested in, try to figure out what they charge for haircuts. Don't just go in on a Tuesday, go in on a Saturday or something like that, where you're actually seeing how busy it is. Um, and I think that's probably like the first thing, you know?
I think it's better to do that like way before you relocate to that area or city or whatever state you're going to.
Oh, yeah, the research, yeah, definitely. The problem with that is you're not going to be able to see how busy a shop is until you get there. You're not going to know the vibe of the barber shop until you walk in.
Hmm.
Um, you know, that's one thing that's pretty difficult is picking the right shop for you. You may be the type of barber that, where you were, you're probably charging $50, $60 a haircut, and now the average price in the area you're moving to is $30. You know, it may be where the cost of living is a little higher. There's a lot of things to consider because some barber shops won't allow you to charge whatever you want for a haircut
That's
by
true.
appointment. You know
True.
what I'm trying to say?
Hmm.
Um, all these questions and all these things you got to talk about, and you got to do it in person. You don't do something like that over the phone. But as far as the demographic and pricing, and see what the area is like, all that stuff is all research you do beforehand.
So basically, like a barber has to come with an agreement with the barbershop owner because you know that like there's some barbers out there that they have a lot of talent. They're not just gonna move out there and like charge $30 haircut when here, Pennsylvania or wherever they used to live, they would
They're
charge, let's say
charging,
50, $40
a lot
a
of
service,
I know a lot of shops won't allow that, but the way I see it is if you're paying booth rent, you know, you can charge your customers your price. Okay, but the shop has shop prices. You
Exactly.
know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, yeah.
So my
Makes a lot of
suggestion would be to
sense.
do something where, go somewhere where that's separated. Where you have your shop prices and they also allow you to go ahead and charge your customers your price, Um, now,
It goes back to what you say. Like if you're paying booth rent, like the shop owner it wouldn't really matter like what you charge your own clients because that's up to you as a barber.
Correct. But you do have to have your shop prices. Now that person is charging $75 a haircut, you know, on his appointments with his customers, can't charge a walk-in
No,
$75
no, no,
dollars. You
exactly.
feel me?
That's two different things. It's that's separated because if it's like a walk-in that that barber is doing and it came in that day, um, we've talked about that before. Like you explain to the customer, oh, if you want to be my client from now on, then this is the price that I charge.
Hmm.
But today I'm gonna charge you so and so because you're a walk-in.
Now the other problem that you run into with certain barbers is that they're not going to want to do walk-ins. They'd
Yeah,
rather sit there, right, and not do a $30 haircut when they charge $75. You understand what I'm trying to say? And you know, and that goes back to the part where you're charging booth rent, and they're an independent contractor. They don't necessarily have to be in at that time. So that's where everything kind of gets cloudy as far as a shop
that
owner.
that doesn't fit in my mind that you're gonna be a barber and you rather not do anything or not cut a client just because you have to charge them less just because
Some people, yeah, some
that
people
doesn't fit in
some
my
people are
mind.
like that, man. Some people are like that.
No.
That's something where you know it's, oh no, I charge $75 for my cuts, blah blah blah. I mean, you get those egos, man. Sometimes you get some barbers that they want to do what they want to do. And as a shop owner, it's kind of tough because, like I said, you're charging booth rent. If that barber doesn't want to do walk-ins and you got walk-ins there and you can't do no walk-ins, you're gonna have to turn them away. You know what I mean? Like so that's where everything gets kind of tough.
I wouldn't.
Right? I mean, it's been I've run into it here a couple of times. You know what I
No,
mean?
yeah,
Where
yeah. It happens all the time.
that's the hard part about it. But that would be the first thing I would do. I would do research in the area and I would try to see um where would be a good fit.
Good fit, exactly.
I'd like
That's
to go
perfect.
try, check out the vibe, try to see. Look, okay, I like the music. The people there are dope.
Responsibility.
Yeah, if you're the type of barber that likes to go to competition and likes to go to expos, ask the barbers in that shop. Oh, do you guys do that type of thing? Because not all barbers go to expos.
Yeah.
They don't like to do things like that.
You just gotta search what that barbershop or those people are like striving to, like
Yeah.
what they like to do.
You can go on Google now and you can search them on Instagram. Pretty much every barbershop has an Instagram, and you can see what they're into. And based on that, make a list as to how many barbershops you want to go visit and go check it out. Go on a Saturday,
As many as you can.
see how busy they are.
That's like buying a house. Like you got you can't get excited just because you went to the first one.
You also may have a real nice barbershop, right? And
But that's not the right one.
and let's say, for example, they work only by appointments. You have no clientele. You
So
shouldn't
how?
put yourself in a barbershop that only take. You know what I'm trying to say? That
Yeah,
only
makes
does
sense.
appointments.
Makes sense.
But it may be nice, but you don't want to. You shouldn't. You should.
Then
You
there
should
may
do
be
it.
rules that you can adapt to, or that you can start off living in that area like that.
And there's nothing wrong with starting in a barbershop that's busy, that takes a lot of walk-ins to start building clientele, and then move towards that.
Mhm.
That's something that's smart. You can do something like that,
I
but
mean, it's a combination about a lot of things that you need to search for and things that you need and stuff. So.
yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to. That's kind of like it's kind of like having a barber that's right out of school that's never been worked in a barbershop that opens up a barber suite
Hmm.
or works in a suite where you have no customers. How are they gonna find you? You know what I'm trying
Yeah.
to say?
Yep. Yep.
So the next thing would be the prices. Check and see what the prices are like in the area. Go and make your phone calls. Some shops don't advertise how much they charge per haircut. Do your research, man. I'd say that's the main thing. Do your research.
Well, you go to say you relocate and that's not gonna be the case. But say you relocate, you go to another city. Will you come to an agreement to stay like right in between your price and the barbershop price, or will you not accept it?
I mean, I think when it gets to a point where you really can't um, charge in between, it's either your prices by appointment or the shop prices. There isn't anything that you can do to to charge in between. You know what I'm trying to say? You can't go to a shop that that's been established and be like, okay, well, I'm going to try to charge in between what you guys are charging. Um, I would choose all right. So let's say, for example, you're moving to, I don't know, Brooklyn, New York, right? And within that area in Brooklyn, New York, every single barbershop is charging $20. I have no choice but to go to a barbershop that charges $20. You don't understand what I'm trying to say? I can't go and say, okay, well, this one charges 25. It's a little further away, unless I'm going to make that sacrifice and go a little further away for the extra couple of dollars. You know what I'm trying to say? Most
It's tough.
barbershops,
It's
even
tough.
around here, man. I mean, there's probably one or two that are not with it, but I mean, every barbershop around here, from what I've seen, is like $30 a haircut. You know what I mean? It's not. It hasn't. It really isn't less than that, and it isn't really isn't more than that either. Haircut and beard is usually about 40,
40.
and that's pretty much like the average around here. You know what I mean? But yeah, you do have some that charge less, but you also have some that charge more. But the average is about $30, $40 for a
Yeah.
haircut and beard.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I would pick. I'd pick the average. I wouldn't go to the high end one yet because most of those places are they have their clientele set up. But go check it out. They may be getting walk-ins that are paying $50 for a haircut.
Hmm.
But yeah, I would say definitely check it out and see exactly what the area is charging. Excuse me, what the area is charging and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Um, Next thing I would do from there is to see what platforms everybody's using, right? Um, so let's say, for example,
Like Booksy and stuff, you mean?
yeah. So let's say I don't want to be the only one with Booksy,
No, exactly, exactly. If in the
So
area they don't use that, then you shouldn't be,
exactly. So that would be the next
not
thing
that you
I'd look into.
shouldn't, but you.
So I would go in and I would see whether everyone's using Booksy or they're using whatever the other ones are, Squire or Style Seat, and I would check to see what the majority of everybody's using and get on that platform.
Hmm.
you know. And the reason for that is, so let's say you're a barber in that area that I'm moving to, and you've been there for, maybe 5 years. You've been cutting there, and there's 10 other barbers that have been there consistent. Those guys start to book up. Those customers that are looking to book with them are gonna see other barbers on that app as
They're
well,
gonna see you, yeah.
and they might go ahead and just say, "Oh, snap! You know what? I can't get in with this guy. Let me get in with this one."
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of why I would jump on the app that everybody else is using at first.
Yeah, exactly. It makes sense because and that's what happens here. Like say on Booksy, like the Booksy of the barbershop. Like say somebody can't get in with a barber, they go to another but in the same barbershop.
Exactly.
So that's how it works.
And the same thing with the areas too. I've had customers where, oh, I've gotten cut with such and such. He's been booked up. So I decided to come get a cut with you.
Hmm.
But it happens. You know what I mean? I'm sure I had customers, same thing, vice versa. So it's good to get on the same platform as everybody else as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. Because more clients are gonna have that app than others too. The more barbers use the app, the more clients grow together too. So.
And the other thing for you to consider is, so we'll go back to that scenario. You've been cutting in a certain area for maybe 5 years. Now you're about to leave. You've already looked up the prices of the haircuts in the area. You've looked up some of the barbershops in the area. Now it's time for you to go and visit some of them and try to figure out exactly what you want to where you want to start working, right?
Hmm.
So now you walk into these shops. Not only don't just talk to the shop owner, talk to the other barbers as well. Um, don't just walk up to the shop owner and just kind of be like, oh, look, I like to work here, so on and so forth. He's going to set his rules. He's going to show you all the ins and outs, how he wants, things done. But aside from that, also speak to the other barbers because their opinion matters because they've been there, for X amount of time.
And
And
it's crazy how you go to like, say you go to another barbershop and you talk to to the barbers working there, like how they talked about the owner.
Exactly.
Isn't that crazy sometimes?
And then you
But you
also
work there though.
you try to figure it out. Now, if every single barber is talking bad about the owner,
It's like what's going
it's like,
on?
hold
Like
on a second. You
why
know
are
what I
you
mean?
here anyways?
Yeah. So it's good to try to figure out exactly what's going on. Um, and don't just think of it as look at it as through the owner's eyes too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these guys may be the type that don't like to do walk-ins. The owner's probably calling them on the cell phone. Look, listen, can you come in a little early, or what time are you coming into work? I got 5 guys here. Are you booked out? A lot goes into running the shop more than just opening, turning the key, and charging chair rent. You feel me?
Yeah, of course. You'll
Um,
know anyways. You'll know who's
so go,
who's right about it.
so go through, check these out, talk to the owners, talk to the barbers. All right. So now let's say you narrowed it down to a couple barbershops, right? Now the next thing are the hours. Don't I wouldn't suggest you go to a barbershop, right? That's open at 7 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, and you're not the type to wake up early. You're not the type to stay late. You know, if the barbershop hours are out of the range of the hours that you want to work, then I would move on to another one. Don't don't sign up to work for a certain barbershop if the hours doesn't if it
Fit
doesn't
your
work
life.
with the hours that you want to work. You
Yeah,
understand what I'm trying to say?
fit
Because
your
ultimately, what's
life.
going to happen is the shop's going to open, and let's say the owner's the only one there. You don't come in till 12 o'clock because you want to start work at 12.
You don't want to live too far either.
Yeah, that's another thing.
That's
But let's say the shop's open, and at 12 o'clock, the shops you don't show up to work till 12 o'clock, and you want to leave at 5 o'clock, but yet the shop's open till 10, and you're like, it's gonna make the shop owner and the people in the barber shop kind of feel like you don't want to be there.
yeah.
So if the hours don't work with the hours you want to work, then don't go with it. You know what I
The
mean?
first thing they're gonna say is that you wanna do whatever you wanna do, and
Yeah, I mean that's the first thing they're gonna
uh,
think. They're gonna be like, oh, well,
no, he does what he want.
like that's crazy to me. Well, all right. Another thing. So now you pick the hours you want to work. You see their schedule. Um, Now you have it narrowed down to two. Let's say, for example, right? The next thing I would go ahead and try to do is to try to see how everybody is in the shop, right? So sometimes you know most barbers have Instagrams, they have Facebooks. So you can kind of see what everybody's up to and what they're doing as far as their profession. Start following some of those people's, and try to see exactly where their heads at.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're the type that don't like to do drugs, but yet on Instagram the barber's over here smoking and doing this and doing that, that might not be the environment you want.
Not a good fit.
Um, if you see that he's posting and he's marketing himself and he's out there trying to make more customers and do stuff like
Grow,
that
yeah,
and
grow.
grow, and you obviously want to grow because you just moved into the area, that might be a better fit for you.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah, just be smart about it, guys. Like, just you gotta look into things that fit you too, not just
yeah, do your
where you're gonna
research.
make money.
And another thing I would say is try to surround yourself with people that are, I can't say better than but what I'm saying is surround yourself with people that have
Standards.
higher standards than what you're used to.
Hmm.
Always try to put yourself, you know, in a position to where you can learn from others and grow. That those are the main things right there. So now let's say you've started, you're working in the shop, you got your clientele up, and you're starting to book out, right? Now you're wondering to yourself, when is it a good time for me to start raising my prices? What do you think is a good time to start?
I'll say like when you have time, you gotta give it time.
Mhm.
Um,
How much
get
time would you give it? Let's say.
I'll say about 3 or 4 years. 3 or 4 years.
So 3 or 4 years without raising your prices at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what else? Um, when you have enough clientele,
Yeah.
because you can't raise your prices having little bit of clientele, because then you're gonna suffer.
Exactly.
Your pockets are gonna suffer.
I think that's the time to start. Once you start booking out a week, 2 weeks ahead of time,
Yeah, then
gradually
that's a
start
lot.
raising your prices,
Yeah.
right? And I don't mean to say like, okay, this week I'm gonna raise it $5. Oh wait, I'm still booked out. Let me raise it another $5. No,
No, no, that's not how it
gradually.
works.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So let's say, for example, I book out 2 weeks ahead of time, and I've been booked out 2 weeks ahead of time for the past 6 months. Okay, now's the time to start raising my prices, right? Let your customers know, post on Instagram, send out a message that as of this date, the prices of haircuts are going to be, going up $5.
No, you can't just go from 40 to 100, you
Yeah,
know.
that's what I'm trying to say. So it's
Yeah.
something you
You,
gradually
you
got to
kind of
do.
have to go with, I wouldn't want to say the economy, but, according to like where you live to.
Yeah. But I mean, also, that really doesn't matter because you have your clientele, right?
Hmm.
So let's say, you say on this day I'm going to raise my prices $5, right? Another 6 months goes down the line or 2 months, and you're still booked out, raising it $5. Now you're going to announce, okay, on this day we're going to raise prices maybe $10 more, right?
Hmm.
Now you're going to lose some customers because they may think that that might be too expensive, okay? But you also may gain some, okay, because along with raising your prices, and along with raising your prices, obviously you've been consistent enough to retain these customers that they keep booking with you, right? So all I see online now is, oh, I charge $75, I charge $100. Forget the $40 haircuts. The problem is a lot of people don't tell you how they got there, right? A lot of those people that are charging $100 a haircut are probably barbers that, for example, have been doing it 10 years, or whatever, 15 years, whatever the time is, and they gradually worked up to that point.
To that point.
You can't just go, and say, all right, even if you're booked out, it's very hard for you to go and say, okay, I was charging $25 and now I'm gonna charge $100 a haircut
That's what I
and keep
mean.
everybody. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. You want to grow and have those people come with you, but not like just
Yeah, you
have the money here, but then like everybody just kind of leaves off,
the,
falls
ul-
off
the
from.
the ultimate goal by raising your prices, right, is not only that you're getting a raise yourself, right? But not only that you're raising your prices, you're making more money, but you're weeding out certain things too, right? You're weeding out the customers that don't really that actually they don't really what's the word I'm looking for? They don't really care about the service you're giving them. Okay, you're weeding out the customers that like the fact that you're making out appointments, but they don't want to pay you anymore. You're weeding out certain things, and you know you're keeping the customers that don't mind paying a couple dollars more. But along with that comes responsibility too. So if you're raising your prices, but you're a barber that's always late for your appointments, or you don't show up to work on time, and you're not consistent with everything, you're going to lose a lot of people because they're like, well, why am I paying extra for? You understand what I'm trying to say? Why are they going to pay you an extra $25 or $50, for your service if you're not even on time, where they can go somewhere else and pay $50 less? You know?
That's why you gotta try to stay disciplined too, because sometimes say you you haven't raised your prices, but you continue getting to the barbershop late. You do this, you do that, and like clients they might accept it, but the day that you raise your prices, they're gonna remember it might fall off from you. But if you're a disciplined barber and do everything the correct way, once you raise your prices,
Yeah, no,
they're
definitely.
they're gonna they're gonna feel a little
They might
thing,
feel,
but they'll say, "Oh, it's worth it because he's disciplined. Oh, he's always on time. He do this." He do that." They remember that.
the other thing is if you're not disciplined, you don't show up to, or you're not on time for your appointments, you don't show up to work, you do whatever, you're a very irresponsible barber,
Hmm.
you're never going to get to that price point. All right. A lot of people, yeah, a lot of barbers say, oh, I let the work speak for himself. Nobody can cut, whatever, like
Hmm.
me.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not about that, man. Sometimes you can give the person the best haircut they ever had in their life, but that doesn't compensate for for a barber being irresponsible, for being late, for his appointments, not coming to work. If I make an appointment at 4 o'clock and you've got two people ahead of me, that's crazy. You know, if you got if my appointment's at 4 o'clock, you got somebody that walks through the door and says, "Yo, I got an extra 100 on top of it, and you want to take him before me?" Like that's, you know what I mean? Like those certain things like don't rock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're gonna lose customers as your prices go up, but you're also gonna
You're
gain
gonna
some
gain. Yeah.
that have been looking forward to your services and appreciate the fact that you've been on time. And like time is the one thing you can't get back. So if you try to respect the customer's time, you're very prompt and you're punctual with your time and your appointments, customers see that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now so now after 6 months you decide to raise your prices. Excuse me. After 6 months you decide to raise your prices, and now you got customers that are leaving. um Now you have more time for yourself, and you have more slots to get to other people. Now, aside from just raising your prices and being punctual and stuff like that, you have to be more professional as well. You can't just go with the same machines that you've been using for the past 5 years. um you gotta bring a little bit something extra to the table too. You know what I'm trying to say? You can't just same razor holder you've been, things falling apart. You got a
Yeah.
machine on their head is pulling their hair. You gotta keep your stuff on point. You know what I mean? So
You have to be able to invest
yeah,
into your work too. You know.
invest in yourself, invest in your tools.
Yeah.
Customers see all that too. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And aside from investing, man, sometimes it's good to just educate yourself too and show customers you're out there learning more things, more services, add more services to your
It's what I mean.
to your
Yeah.
stuff too.
That's what I mean. They see, like, people come here, they tell you, oh, I see all these trophies, all this and that. What's that? You know, it's important.
But that's something else that that people see all that, man. Your mirrors are dirty, your chair's dirty, your cape stinks, dude. Like you can't,
Nah.
you got to be able to up your game a little bit too, man. You know what I'm trying to say? um but those are the main things I wanted to talk about, really, man. um Prices of haircuts is another one. We'll do another episode as to for you guys out there that wonder like why a haircut price is so expensive. We're gonna do a little bit of a breakdown so you guys can get an understanding on certain things. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
and all the add-ons and extra services that we charge for that they don't they might not think that it's like included in, like, say, a full service.
Yeah, 100% right.
We'll explain all of that.
A lot of things have changed too, from years ago to now, where it's more than just haircut. You also have enhancements that you're putting in. Um, Something that's not mandatory, but a lot of barbers do, is styling the hair. Um, you know, Barbers were never really big on shear work back in the day. Now that they're doing more shear work, a lot of these haircuts are more kind of more
Design,
detailed.
detail, yeah.
So it's not just come and get a quick fade and be out. Some people, that's cool, that's what you like, but there's a lot of times where they're showing you a picture off of Instagram where someone spent 2 or 3 hours on the haircut, and they want that same exact look. So there's a lot more involved than just going and just cutting the hair on the side real quick. You know, a lot of barbers have to keep learning. Some of these styles are changing. You're gonna have to learn different styling techniques. Aside from styling, it's cutting. um, like there's just so many different things, you know what I mean,
No,
that barbers are learning nowadays that you know take into play the prices of haircuts going up also,
we still gotta do the reviews on
on the machines.
the machines that we said we were gonna do, and
We never did. Yeah, we gotta do that
we
next
have a
time.
lot more things that we're gonna add up for the channel and stuff like that.
Yeah, so we'll do a couple reviews for the machines coming up. We're also going to be
Price breakdown.
breakdown on prices and things like that. Let you guys know why we charge a little bit extra for what we do. There's reasonings behind it. It's not just we just wanted to make more money. Um, but y'all be safe. You got anything else you want to add?
Cool.
Peace.
Peace, guys.